Hi everybody, thank you once again. Welcome back to my channel, Why Rise. Thank you for joining me once again. To my new subscribers, welcome. To my old subscribers, thank you for giving me audience once again. On this channel, as you guys know, I talk about natural hair and also about Jesus Christ. I always mention at the beginning of my videos that if you're out there looking for something to believe in, I encourage you to believe in Jesus Christ, believe in God through his son Christ Jesus. And my Bible verse for today is from the book of Romans chapter 5 verse 8. And it says, "But God demonstrates his own love toward us in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us." So don't feel like God and Jesus Christ is not for you because of whatever you're going through or where you have been. Just take encouragement from this Bible verse, Romans chapter 5 verse 8, that says that while we were yet sinners, that God sent his son Christ Jesus to come and die for us. Okay, with that being said, I'm going to go on. So today I'm going to discuss pertaining to natural hair. I'm going to be discussing about maybe three or five ways. We'll see how much points I have. I think I have 5 points. So 5 tips to grow your natural hair. And I want you guys to understand that everything that I talk about is, if for example, if I talk about products, it's because I've tried that product before. So I wouldn't come on here and tell you guys about something that I haven't used and attest to it, because then I would have no evidence, so to speak, to tell you whether it's effective or not effective. So everything that I encourage you to try, it's because I have either tried it and it worked or it didn't work. And so I'm coming from a point of evidence-based, not just talking. Okay. So the number one tip that I find helps quite a bit with natural hair, or any kind of hair actually, whether you're permed, natural, the number one tip that I find that really helps with retaining length and also with growth is less manipulation. The less you do to your hair, you actually give your hair the chance to breathe. And the more you see that you're retaining your length and also causing more damage to your hair. For example, if you're somebody that uses a lot of heat application on your hair, you will find that heat, as we all know, heat causes a lot of heat causes some damage to the hair. So I find with less manipulation, for example, even with weaves, like if you're somebody that put on a lot of weave throughout the year, you will see the effects that it has on your hair. Sometimes your edges, because the truth is your scalp needs to breathe. Okay, you need a clean scalp that needs to breathe. Now when it comes to washing and shampooing your hair, some people, depending on your scalp sensitivity, some people need to wash every 2 weeks because buildup happen very quickly in the scalp. As in, when you test your porosity, you will know whether you're low or high. And so if you're the type that products tend to build up really fast in your scalp, you get a lot of itchy and itchiness in your scalp and uncomfortable feelings. So if you have that kind of scalp, then I encourage you to wash your hair at least once a month, right? Or twice every 2 weeks. But if you're somebody that you don't get a lot of product buildup really fast in your scalp, then for example myself, I don't get product buildup in my scalp quickly, so I can go for like a month without washing my hair. Don't judge. Don't judge. I do moisturize while my hair is in. I do moisturize to make sure that I'm not getting make sure that the hair is getting hydrated. So that's number one, less manipulation. Do little to no manipulation to your hair if possible. And I remember when I used to have perm, and even then I would perm like maybe 2 or 3 times, maybe 2 times in a year. Okay, that's how often I used to perm. And I had a lot of length. Even with my permed hair, I still had a lot of length because I was not the type that was perming every 3 months. I wasn't doing that. But I was moisturizing at that time with Dax. Did that hair cream that's called, it's actually an oil base. It's called Dax Hair Pomade, and that really, it worked really well. My hair was healthy and growth, retaining my the length. It worked really well for my hair at the time when I used to perm, and I was perming like at least twice in a year. That's how often I was perming. So the less manipulation, and it wasn't intentional, but later on I realized that that helped my hair in the long run, because my hair it was very nice and thick, and so the less manipulation, the better you have a chance at retaining your length. Okay, so that's point number one. Number two, do protective styling. Yeah, like the one I have. I did this myself, as some of you may know. Protective styling at least three to four times in a year. Again, the less you do it, the better you give your hair a chance to sort of breathe and not doing more, which it coincides with point number one, which is less manipulation, right? Because if you're doing your hair about maybe 3 times, even with protective styling, 3 or 4 times in a year, that's not a whole lot. And that's not going to cause a lot of hair loss for you, right? So it coincides with point number one, which is less manipulation. Preferably if you're someone that your hair grows really well with cornrows, as in my case, depending on who does the cornrow for me. Or if you find that your hair grows really well with braids, then I encourage you to do that. But cornrows typically grows my hair really fast. And it depends on who do it. As in, if the person does the cornrow and put in a weave and there isn't a lot of spacing in the cornrow, then I will get this yellow, because my scalp is deprived of oxygen. So I will get this yellow dandruff that's really itchy. And what will end up happening is when I take out the cornrow, all my edges will be gone. Like the hair will just be falling in my hand like that. So it depends on who does the cornrow for me. It's very important that while you have your cornrow and you're weaving, that your scalp is like the cornrow spacing is not tight to the point where air is not getting in between at all. If that happens, dandruff will build up really fast, and you get the kind of dandruff that itches and also breaks your hair. From experience, take it from me, okay? From experience. Number three is nourish your scalp based on your porosity type. So I know there's a lot of videos out there about oil-based moisturizers and water-based moisturizers. Some people say just use water to moisturize your hair. Others say, oil-based moisturizers are just fine. Once you know your porosity type, it's really easy to know which moisturizer you should be using, or if you need a combination of both. For example, for me, I find that oil-based moisturizers works well with a combination of water hydration for my hair. I have no problem using water to moisturize to hydrate my hair, my scalp. Neither do I have an issue with oil-based moisturizers. The thing is, you have to find an oil-based moisturizer that actually kind of penetrates in a hair and not just like a slab on a scalp. You have to find that. And Dax is one that I can attest to that really works well on a hair. It's an oil-based moisturizer that I have used, and I can attest to that. Also with olive oil, or the Ors olive oil, the butter that I showed you guys last time, that also works really well for my hair. So for me, because my hair will do well with both water and oil-based moisturizers, I do both. I prefer more of the water base. I know my hair gets a much more looser texture, and it really helps with like detangling after I wash. The Dark and Lovely corrective leave-in conditioner, and I infuse that with another Dark and Lovely I think it's 6 or 5 oil infused. I mix them together. So you see, I have my water-based moisturizer, which is a corrective leave-in conditioner. You can feel it's more water-based. It doesn't have oily feel when you touch it. And then I have the oil base, so I mix them together and I put it on my hair. Detangling, it does miracles for when you're detangling your hair, so that works really well. Basically, the point is know your porosity type, so you can choose which type of hydration works better for you, whether it's water hydration or oil-based hydration or both. Okay. And then number 4, diet. This doesn't get talked about a lot, but diet is important. And again, I came to this knowing from experience, not that, and it wasn't intentional. Once again, it's not intentional. It's just that the foods that I eat as an African tend to have, for example, now there's a lot of YouTube videos about gloves in water, which I was not aware of, I have to say. But I do eat like African foods, some African foods, like the part that I'm from in Ghana. We eat cloves. It's a nice smell. We add it to our food. You can even blend it with pepper and ginger, which I'm also seeing on YouTube that ginger with cloves does wonders for some people's hair, and when you make it into an oil. But these are the types of food that I eat naturally, normally, right? So you know what they say, that you are what you eat. You know, it kind of goes hand in hand. So you know, the nutrients that you get from this food, it's in your system. So when it comes to like inflammation for your scalp and stuff like that, you already have abundance of these nutrients because I eat them. So I think that helps. I know that helps with the health of my hair, because I can tell you my nails also, because you know skin, hair, and nails, the same protein that grows them is one, keratin, right? So that's why typically when people talk about hair health, they also talk about nail care and also skin health. So I do like my nails. It grows I can cut it today and it will grow again. It grows fast, and it's always been like that, always. And a friend of mine back in college actually said, Yvonne, you don't have any issue. You have long hair. And I used to perm back in college. She said, you have long hair, you have eyelashes that's long, and you also have nails that's long. You don't need to go to any of these things that we go through. And I didn't get it quite then, but I think that has to do with the diet that I, as an African, that I eat. I think that helps quite a bit. Okay, so pay attention to your diet and what you ingest in your body. And then number 5, this is very important, and it's not something that I practice, but especially if you have natural hair, I will really, if you have the means to, like I said, I don't practice this, but if I have the means to, I would, which is investing in a natural hair salon, a good stylist, okay? Especially when you take down your braids or your cornrows or your weave, whatever, and you know that washing and detangling process. I think if you have a good stylist that's really good with natural hair and can help you detangle and shampoo your hair with less breakage, that is something worth investing in, a good stylist. Some people, I think a lot of people are giving up on natural hair, growing natural hair for this reason. When it comes to wash days, I for one don't like wash days. I hate washing my hair, I have to say, but I need to wash it because you know the scalp, you need a clean scalp, which also aids in hair growth and maintenance of your hair health, right? So you do need a clean scalp, but I hate washing wash days for the hair. I hate it simply for the fact that detangling is a whole process. Okay, it's a whole process. And so if you can invest in a good natural hair stylist that can help you with, especially when you take down your braids and your cornrows. That would be a bonus. That would be a bonus. And it's not something I practice, like I said, because I don't have the means to. But if you're somebody out there and you have the means to, then anytime that you take out your cornrows or your braids and you need to shampoo and condition and treatment, I would strongly encourage you to go to a natural hairstylist. It takes the stress off, one, from you. You know, you save your arm your arms from having to detangle for hours. Yeah, well, let me say for about an hour or two if you're like me. It saves you that stress. So I think when you don't have that stress to deal with, then it's more enjoyable I should say, when you wash your hair and stuff. But other than that, I don't enjoy wash days, but I do it. Okay. And that's it. So those are point number 5. And lastly, you know, if you're going to do, like, for example, this is just a pointer. If you're going to do small braids, like a protective styling braids, and you're going to be leaving it in for about 2.5 months, 3 months, I would suggest that when you get to your edges, and I did this hair myself, I know it's not professional, but at least it's, you know, done. When you get to your edges, don't take small portion. Don't take small portion of the hair and braid. And this is from experience once again, because this is what's going to happen. You take that tiny little piece of hair and you braid it at the front. Come 1 month, 2 months, you will see that the hair will twist on itself. And when it twists on itself, you can basically just say bye-bye to the hair at the edge, okay? And I think this is why a lot of us, some of us women, lose a lot of hair on our edges, because when we get to the front, we take the hair so small, but we forget that once it's that small, and even if you're washing the hair, remember when you wash it, all that buildup is going to get stuck right here in the braid, right? It's going to get stuck there because you have the braids in. It's not going to wash out. You know, it's not going to wash out of the hair. Some of it will get stuck here. Your scalp is clean, but some of the buildup will get stuck right here, okay? And what that will do is when you take out the braids, you have to detangle that buildup from that area. And most of the time, it comes out with a lot of hair. So if you want to avoid losing your edges, especially if you're going to be doing braids and leaving it in for about 2 to 3 months, don't do tiny braids when you get to the front. Don't do it, because then it will twist on itself, it will dread up on itself, and when it dread, you can just say bye-bye to the hair. It's gone when you take out the braids. That is my last tip. So hopefully this helps. Please don't forget to subscribe and also share the videos. Thank you and God bless. Bye-bye.